okay, granted, it's supposed to be the super secret special forces, and by the way, to people complaining that they're woke, they were always woke. Okay, I hate to break it to you. If you read the comic books, they had black people, they had women, they had.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's just, if we're gonna complain about that, come on, guys, like actually look at the storylines, right? Someone I was watching recently, YouTube channel I like, called Bo of the Fifth Column, pointed out that, for example, Lowlight, who was a really very, very popular figure, he was a sniper, but his dad was a vet who suffered from PTSD and used to beat the shit out of him, right? So, like, there was always that thread running in there, and that's just the case. But okay, granted, you are supposed to be losing to the most elite of America and the world, right? They even tried to bring in the Russian side of it too, with the October Guard, and it did attempt to expand it. But you're telling me this guy can't pull off one caper, and he is going to be able to pay any of these motherfuckers who are all there supposedly? I mean, I don't know what the pay scale is for the schmucks in blue, but then you got the specialty guys. You got the, whatever his name was, Water Moccasin. They all had the cool ass code names. Destro was just there to sell arms to anybody. That's entirely the point. Even you read his little card on the back. It was all about that. Baroness, I forget what her deal was, but I mean, she's fucking royalty. Like, you tell her, like, okay, so she comes with her own money. Good job. Maybe she's bankrolling the whole thing. I don't know why they're all hanging around, but still, as much fun as it was to watch as a kid, there's just no fucking way. Like, somebody got to do it. And here's the most pathetic part about the whole organization, and why I just end up shaking my head, and it ends up looking like a particular political party I'm not going to get too into today. The fact is, they replace him with Serpentor. Okay, you're telling me you got the DNA from Genghis Khan, you got it from Ivan the Terrible. Everybody, they left out everybody to Adolf fucking Hitler in there. You notice that? They were can we get the
right? Yeah.
I mean, it's Napoleon. There's all these great military commanders. All the dudes.
Just short of anti-Semitic Holocaust.
Just shy. All of that. And all he could ever do is sit around and say, "This I command." Right? Well, good.
By the way, Genghis Khan pulled off like 3 different Holocausts.
Yeah, completely.
Oh, yeah.
Completely. The dude pioneered germ warfare. Okay. They showed up. Everybody drops dead of the Black Plague. Somebody in the Mongol army is looking around saying, "We can use this." And they start catapulting dead bodies over the fucking walls. Right? Now that is making lemons from lemonade. And I'm sorry, you're taking that and you're putting that DNA in there, and you can't pull off a scheme any given week. Right? That is the best you got. So you went from one loser to like an even more grandiose loser. I don't know. Maybe at that point, with all the DNA mixing, it's considered inbreeding. I don't know. Kind of weird. Kind of brings up a question I have about the clone soldiers, but I'm gonna have to save that for another time. Because it's kind of weird. Because they're even bringing it up in the series. It's like so much incest. Really, it's kind of weird.
All of the incest.
It's a lot of incest. Like the Ptolemies in ancient Egypt. I don't know. Yeah, that's where I gotta roll with us here on that, is Cobra Commander, man. Why the fuck would you want this guy? And especially for the 80s, where like there were just better villains out there.
Were there? I mean, I was struggling with my list. I had Cobra Commander on there. I had Megatron on there. I had Skeletor. I had all the heavy hitters who all just seem to just show up and fuck up. That's really all they're there to do. I would try to clean up just a few things on the Cobra side. And wow, I picked a hell of a day not to bring a whole lot of material, because both of you are crushing it. I just want to point that out. With Cobra Commander, he did say a few times he was just there for world domination. I mean, very generic. One would call that a goal, not a plan. So I see where that's coming down. As far as payroll, I think he really only had to worry about his like main commanders, because I'm pretty sure the guys in blue were either conscripted or they were clones or some sort of thing, or I think what comes down to it is what I'd like to think of as a mundane task scenario, which is like when we're watching a movie, and I've said this before, one of my worst, like the review critiques that send me over an edge over any movie is when people are like, well, how come we don't ever see them like when they're in their office or when they're doing this? Like, no one has a day like blah blah blah. It's like, who the fuck wants to watch that? I don't want to watch your regular.
To watch that,
right? Like we're watching a scenario that is out of the mundane. That is why it's entertaining. No one wants to see. Like, I just sat in fucking hour and a half of traffic. Does anyone want to see hour and a half of me being in traffic? Like, fuck all y'all. So, like, I think when it comes down to that, and G.I. Joe and Cobra Commander, I think what the problem is, we only are watching when they're fucking up. But so, like, I'm sure they're successful in other areas. I'm sure they got like 1,000 bank robberies going on at the same time they're fucking out with Joe. But that actually is the reason why I wanted to put him on the list. And I took him off because, frankly, the 80s is just so littered. You can throw a dart at any goddamn property in the 80s, and you're going to find people with so many questionable thoughts and actions that it almost even makes you want to wonder, how the hell does the protagonist even exist? Like, if you're that dumb and you're making that many fucking dumb moves, how did the protagonist need all this shit to get you? What the fuck?
Right?
And Cobra Commander, I think what was happening with him, I think, or what we see in G.I. Joe is like, he's always aiming for Joe, which is part of the reason why I wanted to put him on the list, but I just left him so I don't have time to have so many people. It's like, if you're always fucking up going after Joe, don't go after Joe. There's literally an entire planet that you could be focusing on. Joe is one organization. You're going to tell me they're everywhere? Like, fine. You guys shit in Antarctica. Joe shows up. Go to fucking the Sahara. Like, what do you need? You have your own goddamn islands. You have stations. You have aquatic stations. You have space stations. You have all these different things. Why are you only where fucking Joe is? It's obviously personal. It's obviously like they don't even care about winning. They just like, yeah, like that guy got a speeder. He got a fucking snow speeder. He got, all right, let's get a hovercraft going. Look, come on. Like, I think that's really what's happening there, is because Cobra Commander ain't there to win. But I'm gonna move past all those guys because it was super hard to fucking, like I said, focus on anyone from the 80s, or frankly, more often than not, any time, because all of these guys are just questionable to begin with. I'm gonna start, believe it or not, with goddamn Skynet. Terminator, I'm gonna start with Skynet.
I took it off my list. I mean, it was right there. I hear you.
If you want to talk incestuous people, anyone listening to us, incestuous is our list that we create every fucking week, because it literally is like 80% shared, and it's all fucking telepathy. Not one of us is sharing a list, yet we show up 80% is just gonna be across the board.
It's part of the Team Gentleman indoctrination ritual. It's just
it really is. It really is. Maybe that's what's going on with the Cobra Commander. The Cobra Troopers. They're all just, on the same list. But the point being is, like, Skynet, guys, I don't know what to tell you. If you can travel back in time, go further. I don't know what else to tell you. Just
try harder.
Right? Don't stop in 1983. What are you doing? Did you have a time machine? It's like, hey guys, we can only go like to 83, so pick and choose your spot. Like, what the fuck? And by the way, if you can time travel back to 1983, why are you only sending one fucking person? Like, why don't you send a whole goddamn army? Hey. Shut the whole thing down. Now, one could argue, well, Rashawn, if they did that, then they fuck up the time-space continuum, and then Skynet may not have existed, blah, blah, blah. Actually, no. What we were going to prove is that as soon as they send anything back, automatically they set their fucking fate and future locked in place, because that's what the whole theme of Terminator 2 was. That's the whole fucking thing. It only existed because some asshole went back in time, left the goddamn chip. Someone's like, hey, this is shit we've never seen. This ain't Intel. They fucking started breaking down, and all of a sudden Skynet gets created.
Can I just say, I've had a very quick interjection, but totally based on your theory, what I thought the first time I saw Terminator 2 is, as soon as Arnold Schwarzenegger goes in the molten iron, Eddie Furlong should disappear. If all is going exactly right, then his father never travels back in place, never makes it with his mother, and that's that. So, like I said, supporting you 100%.
Right?
I'm with that, yeah.
Frankly, if I'm going to be completely real with Skynet, I think they never actually wanted to win. Because even when we see the future, it's like, so wait, let me get this straight. You guys have world conquering cyborgs and machines and all this equipment, yet you can't root out a bunch of rats in a goddamn cave that's like 2 miles away from you. That's the other thing, by the way. They're never traveling that far. It's like, oh yeah, we just gotta go around the block to Skynet. It's like, what the fuck? All right, so I'm gonna spend too much time on that. I'm gonna move on to the next one because I got at least 2 more. So the next one is Weyland-Yutani, fucking aliens. Same goddamn thing. Guys, all right, hey, look, I get it. You don't want the world to know that you're trying to bring in invasive species from outer space. I understand that. But was your best fucking move to send a goddamn bureaucrat who has no experience species collecting onto a goddamn military mission to go save a colony? Is that your best move? Is that literally your best? So you're gonna bring back a species that you don't know anything about, don't even fucking know what happened, other than the fact that it fucked up your first crew. That's all you know, and you're gonna leave it to a fucking bureaucrat? A guy who's not even high up on your totem pole? You don't even see the guy from R&D. You don't even see research and development.
I was gonna hit.
You just said fucking Jay Burke. What the fuck? I don't even understand what you're trying to do anymore. Like, do you want the species? Like, do you actually want the species? Because I would say you might want. How about send the same military group to go get the goddamn species? I don't know what the fuck to tell you, but goddamn it, if all you want is an alien, you found the worst way to go at it.
I know this may hit a little close to home within the gentleman here, but they sent the HR guy. I mean, that's what they did. They sent HR.
And what kills me is like someone would be like, well, they actually sent the android too to back him up. It's like, okay, so you wait for the android to basically get his ass handed to him to turn around and be like, actually, no, I'm actually here to, species collect. Again, why? Just fucking go get the goddamn species. Maybe show up with equipment that you can actually do it. Because by the way, if Burke was good at what he was supposed to be there to do, they still didn't have anything to contain this goddamn invasive species. So no matter what, that shit wasn't going to make it back to Earth. By all ways, and also it has acid blood. So as soon as that shit fucking bleeds once on the goddamn Sulaco, it's going straight through the goddamn hole. Whole spaceship is done. What the fuck? All right, but again, I can spend way too much time on that. I want to leave at least a little bit of time for my last villain of the 80s, the worst one. It is, honorable mention. I have to. Honorable mention. Whoever's the bad guy in Roy Schneider's movie, I just had Blue Thunder. Whoever's the bad guy in Blue Thunder, holy shit, you have to be at the top of the list because you got stopped by a goddamn cop in a helicopter. You're in LA, dude. You're in fucking LA. You got stopped by doing a helicopter. There's fucking tunnels all over LA. You can literally just go to a couple of cities next door and you got stopped by a goddamn guy in the helicopter who always stays in the city. So you got skyscrapers and you still can't get away from a fucking guy in the helicopter. Holy shit. Like, I don't understand how you even got to where you were to even be in a position to be a kingpin or a criminal boss or whatever. But you make the guy from fucking Cobra look like a Mensa scholar. Holy shit. You got stopped by a guy in a helicopter in LA. What the fuck? And by the way, Roy Schneider was on his way out. He was retiring in that movie. So you got stopped by a guy who didn't even give a fuck. He's like, I'm collecting a pension. I got my gold watch. I might stop this guy, but whatever. He fucking made Danny Glover look like he was in it for it. But anyway, the last one I had, that was my honorable mention, but the last one I had, it's the fucking main characters of Revenge of the Nerds. And no, it's not the jocks. It's the goddamn nerds. Let me break it down for you. It's an entire college. What they do is they insert themselves into an area that already had pre-existing rules and traditions, whatever. They said, no, it has to be what we want, not us work with the system that's already there. I'm not here to say the system's good. I'm not here to defend the system. I'm just pointing out it's a whole fucking college. They literally could have just did their own thing. That's even what the Greek board said. Do your own fucking thing. And what did they do? They did their own thing. Movie should stop. But no, they're like, let's kick it up a notch. Let's ruin a bunch of fucking lives. Let's go ahead and rape a girl. Let's damn near kill someone. Let's do all this because they told us we can join their fucking club the way they want us to. Here's the funny thing. If those jocks showed up and wanted to join the nerds club, I'm willing to bet they're going to have to do it the nerds fucking way. They're the worst fucking villain of the 80s.
Ogre did do that in Revenge of the Nerds too. Just to clarify, he joined